After 15 years as a bureaucrat in Brussels, Joanna Kaminska is running for the European Union Parliament. A security and defense specialist, she is the only Polish politician running on the Green Party platform.
I have decided that my expertise now is useful in the European Parliament. I know how to negotiate good agreements. I actually know how the institutions work.
She campaigns on the street of Warsaw and other cities with a group of volunteers to convince voters this election is crucial to Europeans' future.
We need to work and have this pro-European integration, cooperation between parties that are progressive, that want the EU to be stronger and more integrated and protect the European values.
Kaminska's German counterpart, seasoned politician Viola von Kramon, a former member of the German parliament, is campaigning for her second European Parliament term.
It is about defending democracy. This time it's about security in Europe. This time it's about foreign policy, it's about war, it's about support for Ukraine.
The war in Ukraine often comes up when she talks to German voters.
We have to explain to our fellow citizens here why Ukraine's security is also our security and what is on stake.
Support for right-wing parties is rising in Europe. The European Council on Foreign Relations and others predict populist radical right parties will gain votes and seats across EU, while center-left and green parties will lose seats. Nicola Procaccini, a member of the European Parliament from Italy's ruling National Conservative Brothers of Italy party, is looking forward to gaining a greater voice.
One thing is sure. In the next term, we will be more central in the European scenario than in the last years.
These elections will be critical in shaping the future of the EU, said Magda Jakubowska, vice president of the Respublika Foundation think tank.
There is a growing trend of populist governments and politicians in power. And if we don't work on this, if we don't stop such a trend, sooner or later the EU and the European project can become very much fractured and fragile.
In a report, the group accuses malign actors such as Russia of influencing the election by exploiting divisive issues such as immigration and budget spending through disinformation campaigns. The group says these campaigns primarily target countries on the eastern border of the EU, such as the Baltic states and Poland.
Because those states are at the very brink of Europe and can be decisive to the next agenda for the war in Ukraine.
Analysts say after the election, security, economic resilience and the protection of democracy in Europe will be key to the EU's future development. And they say that will require that the EU's new leadership is able to work with the US administration. Miroslava Gongadze, VOA News, Warsaw.